We are live. Hi, everybody. Welcome. I am a disembodied voice right now, but I am finishing up getting set up. Sorry about the small delay. I had a little bit of a technical difficulty. But here we are, and we are about ready to start. Oh, yeah, I got to put on an apron. All right. I also want to make sure that I can see comments. So there we are. All right. So if you're here, welcome. I don't know that anybody is watching yet except me, but that's okay. So welcome to my second live Paint With Me painting. We're going to be painting this beautiful elephant here. All right, got a few more people that joined us. Welcome, everybody. And my mom is joining us today. The kiddos and my sister have gone home, sadly, but, oh, Crystal's here. Hi, Crystal. All right, so let's just go ahead and, well, should we wait for anybody, Crystal? What do you think? I don't know. But the first thing is optional. So I'll show you guys how to do the first thing first. The first optional thing is that you can take pencil and you can sketch in just your outlines for your elephant. So I will show you guys how to do that. All right, so you want to start, I don't know, maybe about a third-ish, close, almost halfway through your canvas. Start there, and you're going to make kind of this light bulb shape. So I'm going to draw now my mom's not doing this at the moment because I already did this for her. So you're going to draw this light bulb shape with this long trunk down there. Then I'm going to draw this part, so it's going to come down and over with like a little arch shape. So it's going to come down here and over. It doesn't have to be perfect. You can always fix it with paint later. Then I'm going to draw the tusk, which is kind of a J, a long J shape. And a little bit there. And then connects them. Easy peasy. And draw his ear. It's just kind of, you know, rounded shape over here. Going off my paper. And it comes down to connect with the tusk. Like that. I'm probably going to change all of this. And then his little curly cue of his snout down there. It's kind of a and a little circular shape, and then that shape. And then bring it around and connect. So obviously a terrible drawing, but I am going to fix it a little bit because I think his ear on this one is not big enough and it goes too close to the edge, whereas I think his head is too big. So I'm just going to go ahead and erase some stuff. And that's why we start in pencil if you so choose to. If you're a better drawer than I am, you don't need to. Should have just grabbed another canvas, blank one to fix up. All right, let me try that one more time. I'm going to start a little bit further in. Do that. Bring his tusk here. I just drew this on my mom's canvas a few minutes ago, and it looks way better. So, Mom, you're welcome. Mm-hmm. All right, that's good enough for me for now. All right. So if you choose to, you can draw it in with pencil. So the first step, we are going to actually paint directly over that outline. We're going to paint the outline first. And you want to do the outline in kind of a darker color. I don't suggest black, but any darker color that you've got will work. I'll just grab this magenta color that I have. And it doesn't have to be perfect. It really doesn't. This is just the initial outline. It doesn't even really have to be full coverage. It just flow with it. This is just to kind of mark where the elephant is and where we're going to paint our background. Now remember, everybody, if you have any questions, if you're watching live, feel free to ask in the comments. If you are watching this after the fact, or if you're watching live, feel free to ask in the chat. If you're watching this after the fact, feel free to ask in the comments, and I usually almost always reply to my comments. So you can feel free to ask anything you like in the comments. All right, brilliant. All right. How we doing, Mom? How's your outline coming? It's going good. Mom's using a really pretty Prism Violet for her outline. Now, I painted this one the other day. And so really, I can do this. Doing it quickly, this painting probably won't be as good as this painting, but I'm sure it'll end up pretty and cute, and I will love it. Also, I love to see all y'all's paintings, so if you, anytime you watch this, if you want, you can go to my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/RinStudioArt. I'll put the link in the description. But you can go there, like that page, and send me a message on there with a picture of whatever you painted today, because I love to see that. I'm going to go ahead and start putting the colors that I'm going to use for my background onto my palette. I suggest for the background to use lighter, more muted pastel kind of colors, like I did here, and then your brighter, more bold colors in the foreground. You can also do it where you have cooler colors in the background and warmer colors on the elephant, because cool colors recede and warm colors come forward in a composition, so it'll really make the elephant pop. So, and I kind of did that. I mean, yes, I've got some of the cooler colors in the elephant, but mostly it's those reds and oranges and yellows rather than the purples and pinks and blues that I have in the background.
I was thinking of doing yellow for this part.
You can do whatever you like. If you want it just solid yellow, or do you want it to be kind of like textured like this?
Probably mention texture.
If you're going to, well, then what I would do is use the yellow, but also use white as part of the texture, and use a couple of different yellows. So whatever yellow you put there, I have a couple of different yellows here. Was it this yellow that you put there?
I don't know. There's a bright one.
Yeah. Then you're going to want to use that one, and then use this one too.
This is the one
that's the primary.
Yeah.
Use the other two yellows also as kind of accents. So, but you know, the cool color, warm color thing, the you know, the choice of colors is really yours. I just make suggestions, but again, I want you to make it yours. So,
is this too wide?
Maybe a little wide. It's got a really good brush for.
No?
Good work. Yeah, good work. All right. So for your background. You don't even have to worry if you get a little bit, if you color a little bit outside the lines, that's okay. Again, we're going to be going over it a lot. So for this one, actually want to, no, I'm not going to grab purple yet. I'm going to grab a little bit of blue, and I'm even going to put a little bit of pink on my brush, and then I make X marks, like that. And I just make quick X marks. And then I'm also going to add some white just to lighten it up, because I don't want the background to overpower my elephant. So I am going to continue on my path of the cool, light, muted, colored background. And see some of my outline colors coming into my background also, and that's okay. Add blue down there. Make sure you get in between the tusk and the snout a little bit. And you can make it so that you have as many or few brush strokes as you want. If you want it to be a solid color, go for it. If you want it to be very messy, I like the messy. You could even just make it a gradient from top to bottom. There's lots of different things you could do with this background. Just try and feel it. Feel it. Feel it. It's art. Feel it in your soul. Cool. Aunt Kelly and Uncle Rob are watching. Vince is taking a nap right now. He worked really hard all day cleaning, and we were doing all kinds of little projects around the house and stuff, so he laid down and took a nap, and I didn't want to disturb him, so he is napping.
All right, how are you doing?
I'm still doing the background,
So
yes.
like that.
Oh yeah, that looks really pretty, Mom. All right. So, hi, Kelly and Rob. I'm glad to see you here. And feel free to catch up. Kelly, I'm sure you can figure out how to catch up. I make sound effects while I paint. Those who have seen some of my other videos might know that already. All right. So it's a little less textured than this one. I could add more white if I wanted more texture in there. I might. And then, but it is still kind of that purpley color, which I love purple, and it's one of my favorite colors, purple and orange. All right. How are we doing, Mom? Do you have your background all finished?
Done.
All right. So then we can move on to our elephant. Because we're not going over this, we don't have to wait for it to dry. But I am going to have a sip of water. Stay hydrated. Hydration is very important. All right. So to start with my elephant, I started with yellow. So I am going to do that again. I like the super bright yellow. I might use some of the other yellows also later on in the painting. But I'm going to start with a yellow. And you're going to want to use kind of a medium-sized brush. I'm using a filbert brush, which means that it's got kind of a curved shape, but that is just because it's one of my favorites. You can use that for sure. Or you can use also, Mom, if you wanted that. Ah! Paint down, paint down. You could use a different shaped brush too, Mom, if you want. You can use that fun one, or even this one. This one's a little big, but you can still use it.
So what are we doing
So,
all of the insides?
So now we're starting to do the insides. So
you're going to keep it to them. I'll look over your shoulder.
I am gonna start on his main part of his head right here.
All right. Okay.
And what I'm doing is I'm taking my color, whatever color, any color, and I'm just painting downwards, streakiness.
Got it.
And especially with the lighter colors, I would recommend for this particular painting starting with a light color, because then you can really just build up on with your other colors. I am gonna add quite a bit of yellow because that's kind of the main color that I want in my elephant. I'm gonna avoid the tusk for right now, but
I already got yellow in there.
you can always cover it up. Again, this painting is great and easy because you really don't have to color inside the lines if you don't want to. You can get it all over the place, and it's easily fixable, or it might not even need to be fixed. That's pretty well. So then switch to another color. So I'm gonna switch to an orange. So apparently my friend Jeremy is watching this, and he is a brilliant artist. If you find Some Beach, S-U-M Beach, B-E-A-C-H, palette art on Facebook, you can see his work and you'll understand this joke, but he just sent me a message and asked if I could make it look more like a turtle. And the answer is actually yes, because I got inspired this week by this painting and did this style, but I did a cat. And you can see that on my Facebook page also. So really, Jeremy, the answer is yes. Yes, you could, but today I'm doing an elephant. Jeremy, you're an amazing artist, and you can go ahead and make this a turtle. So, we've added another color. That's pretty, Mom. I like the teal. Then I'm gonna add yet another color.
Now, are you like doing white spaces, or are you going?
So I still have some white space on there. Eventually, I'm gonna cover all the white space.
But I mean, like when I'm putting additional colors, to go into the other color is okay as well, right?
Yes. So here, look, Mom. So I still have a bunch of white space, but I'm going over the yellow with the orange.
Okay. So here's mine.
Yours is looking pretty, pretty. Now, Mom, I'm gonna give you a suggestion too, and you don't have to use it. But if you wet your brush and don't even put any paint on it, or more paint, or no more paint, then, and I don't want to use my brush because I've got the orange on it, but then you kind of like go over it.
Okay.
You can make them blend a little bit more, or make those dots go away. But if you like the way those brush strokes look, keep them.
Okay.
But if you want it to look a little smoother, just use water.
Okay.
Yes. What next? What next? So I'm gonna go ahead and go with another color. And I'm gonna go ahead and grab a little bit of this same pink. It's a medium magenta that I used in the background, but this is going to be more pronounced. So I'm only gonna add a few streaks of this pink. Ooh, that's the wrong one. Just because I want it to have a little bit more, I'm going to add a little bit of contrast with this pink. But I'm still staying with warm colors at this particular moment. And maybe a little bit there. And maybe some right up in, yeah. So just a little bit of pink there. Now, I'm going to add even more visual contrast because I am going to start adding a cool color or two. Actually, no, I lied. I'm not going to add the cool color yet because I want more of this paint to dry, because if I start adding opposite colors, it's going to end up muddy. So I'm going to add another warm color, which is going to be my red. Again, just a little bit of the red because I don't want it to take over. And I'm going to add the red kind of in some spaces that I know shadows might be. So right here under the tusk, maybe along the side of the elephant's face. And then down here, on kind of the underside of the trunk. Because red is such a dark color, it's going to add that shadow idea. So, and then maybe just a little bit like there, where the eye is going to end up. There we go. Maybe just a little bit there. Add some dimension to the ear.
Alright, what would you...
Hi, Mario Maker. Who is PZZA Mario Maker? I'm not sure who that is, so you gotta tell me. But hi, thanks for watching. Thanks for coming. Woo, that's looking pretty.
Alright,
so let's take just a second and sit and chat. Does anyone have any questions? Is anybody painting along?
well, I want to know, like, first of all, do I need more in here?
We're going to be adding more. I'm going to make you add a couple of warmer colors.
Okay, and what did you do for shadowing?
So I used red, and I added it kind of here under the tusk area. I added it kind of where.
Alright, so
right
what
back
color
there.
would you suggest?
I would use, actually, because we're using cool colors, I would go with this blue as your kind of shadowy areas color. And again, you don't have to add too many streaks of it. Yeah, you can use a smaller brush. You can use any brush you want. I used the same brush for all of my streaks so far. But if you want to change it up, go for it.
I'm gonna come over.
You're gonna come around? So over here. I just kind of, because the eye is going to be right there, so I just kind of add a little shadow there. Here. Mm-hmm. And then, like, because, you know, ears flappy flap, so I added one there. Under here where the tusk meets, you did that. And then a little bit on kind of the bottom side of the trunk. Right there. Over here. Mm-hmm. There you go. That's a great color to add to those colors too. So very nice. There you go. There you go. It's looking like an elephant, Mom. All right. Crystal is helping with tie-dye. Awesome. Ooh, Aunt Kelly is painting on leather.
Wow.
Yeah. And Crystal is helping out with tie-dye. Crystal, are the kiddos doing tie-dye, or are you helping, like, your adult friends with tie-dye? Because either way is fine, because tie-dye is fun. All right. What else? So now my yellows is dry enough. Some of my orange spots are still a little wet, a little tacky, but I'm just going to go right ahead and continue. First, Mom, before you continue, let me make sure I don't mess mine up. I am going to add a bit of a cooler color. I love this teal. And again, I'm not going to add too many of these streaks. These streaks are just kind of accents. So I'm going to go here. I'm going to add one up here. Yeah, you're pretty safe to add some warmer colors, Mama, if you want. I'm going to add it down there. Right there. I'm also kind of filling in some of the white space that I have left. And there. All right. Where else? In there? Just over there. Okay. So that's my teal. Just add a few streaks maybe of orange. I would use orange, Mom.
What about yellow?
Yellow. I mean, you can do yellow. Yellow. You've got so much yellow in the background, which is why I was suggesting orange or red or even a green.
Yeah, green. A little more, I don't know, a little more teal. I don't know.
If you wanted to use this green, would add some cool contrast.
So where are we contrasting? What are we?
Just a couple. So if you notice, I just added it, just a few.
Oh, okay.
Not many.
Okay.
Just a few here and there. I've got that blue out. That's not the blue I want. This is the blue I want. And now I'm going to add a few more cool streaks of blue. There. A little bit up here. That. There. Oh, I also want some there. All right. Cleaning my brush off a little bit. I do want to add a little bit of this green. Oh, that is a pretty combination there, Mom. That with this green really, did a lot. And then yes, I would add a little bit of a few yellowy streaks. I'm gonna add a little bit more. I'm gonna add a little bit of this green in here too because I think it'll blend nicely and look pretty. Okay. Wipe my brush because I got some extra red on my brush. And maybe over here. There. Now, what I'm going to do here at this stage for me, which depending on how you made your brush strokes, you might not even need to do this step. But I'm going to get my brush wet and I am going to kind of blend some of this a little better. Because I want it streaky and some of it blended, some of it not. But I'm going to go ahead and blend some of it. So, and the way I did that is, like I said, I just added some water to my brush. And I'm picking up paint every now and then too, but that is all right. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up yellow to continue to blend some of this so that it blends a little more the way I want it to. I'm also using that yellow to fill in any white spaces that I have left. And again, I'm coloring outside the lines a little bit, you can see that, but that's all right because of all the different steps that go along with this painting. Ooh, This elephant's turning a little more fluorescent than the other one. I'm okay with this. I'm totally okay with this. Oh, hi, Patrick. Oh, Patrick wants to add hoop earrings.
Love it.
I love it. And you should, Patrick. And then, again, you need to go like my Facebook page and send me a picture because that would be amazing. All right, so I am going to dull down the colors just a little bit with a little bit of white added in. So I'm going to take some of my white paint and just go over some areas. Again, it'll help blend some of the other paint colors together, but very light touch on the white. I'm not gonna.
I just messed up.
I'm not gonna add a lot of white.
Okay.
How'd you mess up?
I
What'd you?
just screwed up his whole tail.
Okay, well it's a trunk, but let that dry and you can go over it again and you can fix it. You can fix it. It is fixable. So work on a different area for right now. And again, so well, and especially with this one, because of all the different layers, if you do something and you're like, oh, I hate that, you can always go back over it. So, but you do have to let the paint dry a little bit before you go back over it.
I'm liking the elephant, but
I love your elephant.
Trunk is a little bit.
Do you add white?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. If you're going to add the white, it has to be sparing, and you can't, like, I pretty much screwed up my trunk too. Look. So you have to add just a little bit. So
I'm not gonna add any white to him because I don't want to.
all right, don't do that. Yours is not fluorescent like mine is, so I don't even think you need to add white to your elephant. There, I think I just fixed my trunk. There, that's
Like
better.
do I need to put any more? Am I overthinking as far as see how like you can kind of see white coming through there?
If that bothers you, then yeah, you can add color. Now, if you want pink to be the predominant color, use that same pink and kind of fill in a little bit some streaks or some brush strokes. So while I'm waiting for more of this to dry, I'm going to move on to the tusk. And here is where we do want white. And I'm going to use this guy. I'm going to use my filbert brush again, just because it's kind of a medium-sized brush. And I'm going to need more white. So you're going to start with your tusk by painting it white. And
right, which brush are you using?
I'm just using a medium-sized filbert just because it's easy to use. Really simple first, just paint it white.
It's too small.
It'll just take a little longer. Then, once you have it painted white, we're going to add, if you notice I added some color on the edges. And that one I'm going to use a smaller brush. I'm going to use, it's a number 4, it's an acrylic brush, it's just a round brush, it's actually just one of my favorites. And I'm going to add a little bit of blue, just coming down the edge there, and over here. Clean it off. And on this one I added just a little bit of green or teal or something in there too. So I'm going to add a little bit of teal just to give it a little more dimension. That. And then I'm going to go back over it with the white just to make it blend and a little more streaky.
Okay, so you kind of put color on the sides and then you streaked it with the white again.
Yep. Used the white to blend it. I think my tusk has gotten too fat, but Don't tell the tusk that, because we don't need to body shame a tusk. No, it's I can always fix that later with my outline when we redo the outline. And then I just use.
So did you go down both sides?
I did. You don't have to. I did. I'm just gonna kind of use my white to blend the color a little bit more. All right. That looks like a pretty cool tusk. I'll take it. Hi, Felicia. Felicia's joining us. So, I mean, so far, this painting is pretty easy. I mean, really, it's just been a bunch of brush strokes, some streaky, you just gotta choose your colors. So I've got my tusk done now. I'm gonna touch my painting because that's how I figure out if it's dry enough to move on. So yeah, so add some more white to blend that a little bit more.
So, like, a lot?
Yeah. Feel free. And then, yeah, and so see how it picks up a little bit of your teal and kind of just moves it around. Doing great, Felicia. How are you doing? Are you going to paint with us? All right. So what is next? So you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to stand up and stand back and look at it and see if I want to add any other colors or see what I want to do next. And that's always a great thing to do. It's always a great idea to just stand up and stand back and look at your work so that you know what you want to do next. I have covered up a lot of my red, so I think I want to go back in with a little bit of red and maybe some pink, because I pretty much covered a lot of my pink too. So I think I'm going to touch up a little bit more of my colors. Let's see how Mom's doing. Mom's doing great. That's looking pretty. So another suggestion I might make for you, we're still letting that dry a little bit. Mm-hmm. Okay, so actually it's pretty dry, so if you wanted to, you could start back in with the pink. Yep. What I would do is I would use the pink and maybe just a little itty bitty bit of white in with the pink, because that'll make it more thick, and paint this whole thing pink and then go back in with your streaks afterward, because that'll cover up this mess. I know you think it's a mess. That's the only reason I'm calling it a mess.
So, but I have the dark pink and the light pink. So what?
Which pink were you using?
I was using the light pink predominantly.
Well, then you don't even, the rose pink, you don't even need to add white because it's already pretty thick. So just go ahead and do that, and then you can add this and stuff like that. Okay. The other thing I will suggest to you, if you want to make it really pop, add some of the fluorescent pink at some point to like your whole thing. But just a little bit, not a lot.
Well, see, I don't want to get too common. This is. I'm going to send this to Amelia, so yes. I don't think I want to do too much.
Too bright. Yeah. Okay. Well, and you are. Oh yeah. So, and then the other thing I would do too, yeah, add the rose pink in certain areas, because look how nice and bright that looks as you go over it. Yeah.
So paint this whole tail with pink, the rose pink.
Yes. Tail.
Tusk.
Trunk.
Yeah, whatever. Whatever this thing is here. I'm gonna have to put nostrils on it to.
Oh, Felicia, this is my mom. I introduced her at the beginning, but yes, my mom is painting with me today.
No, I'm just some old woman that came off the street.
No, she's my mom, and I'm super proud that she's my mom, because she's an awesome mom. It's true. She's the reason I'm awesome, so she must have done an alright job. So many brushes. You really don't need to use as many brushes as I use. I just get brush happy and use a lot of brushes. You really can do this with 3 brushes. You know, a bigger one, a medium one, and a small one. Really, it would be super simple, but I get brush happy, and I'm okay with that. I'm gonna add some more pink here because I feel like it needs it. I'm gonna add a little bit more down there. There, and some there. And then you know what? I'm going to use a little bit of this lighter pink also. I could use the fluorescent pink also, except that my composition, my piece is already super bright, so. All right, people. Why are we not chatting? Tell me, what did you do today? Do you have questions? Do you have stories, comments? Do you think my elephant looks like a not elephant? All right. I think that is exactly what I wanted it to do. That looks cool. And then I'm going to go back in just a little bit yellow in a couple of spots. Here, there, there, there. Cool. Yes, Felicia. Everybody is being very quiet. You should invite all your loud friends to just come and blow up the chat. All right. So now that I am happy with the background of my elephant head, so the next thing we're going to end up doing eventually is start adding all the cool details. But while that dries, we can go ahead and redo our outline again. This is not the last time we're going to redo the outline, but it is needing to be done again. So I used that magenta color last time. I'm actually going to go over it this time in Prism Violet.
Prism?
Prism. Prism, like that thing, that triangle thing that makes rainbows. So I'm going to go over it in Prism Violet. And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. This is not the last time we're doing this, but just to add that separation again, because I did color outside of the lines a lot. So this is just kind of to give me my shape again. Plus, it gives that very layered look that this one has. This one was 3 layers on the outline in different spots. So I'm just going right over that outline again. Where are my kitties? My kitties, actually, I don't know where they are right now. I'm surprised they're not running around the kitchen or playing with the tablecloth, because that's what they decided to do during the last live stream. They might be napping with Vince. Taking a cat nap. And go around that part of the outline. Alright. Oh, and my chest. thin out my tusk a little bit. There we go. See, fixed it. Awesome. Oh, Crystal's tie-dye is almost done. They're at the cleanup phase, and then we gotta let it dry. All right. So the outline is done now. Mom's working on hers. And it is looking awesome. Very cool. Then I'm gonna sit back and let her finish that section because I'm gonna let mine dry just a little bit. I am using way thicker paint than Mom is right now, so. So it takes mine a little bit longer to dry because I lay it on thick. And the next part that we are going to do is we are going to start adding all of these fun details. It's kind of inspired by Indian elephants and all the adornments for special occasions and things that they do. So you can make it up as you go along. You can do exactly what I've done here. You can do whatever you need to do, but these elements really add a lot to the composition, adding the details. So, and I will give you some suggestions as we do that also. All right, Mom, how's your outline coming?
About done.
Excellent. So, next, so for the details, you're going to want to use your smaller brush. I like to use a round brush. That's just my preference. So I'm going to use my smaller brush. Start picking colors, and
Just too big.
we're going to go to town.
Where do I want to do this?
Let's see. That one might be too small for what we're doing. I would use a combination. So for some of the lines, some of the fatter lines, use this one, and thinner, as we get thinner, we can use that one. So I'm gonna start on the trunk. I'm gonna add my little horizontal lines to the trunk.
Okay.
Right there.
Now what? Which of these are like more opaque or?
So you can always tell if you look, because I explained this in the last live video, but to refresh people's memory, you can look at the tube and you can see that's more opaque, that's totally translucent, and this one's in between.
Okay.
The little squares, and I'll show you guys. So the little squares that I'm talking about are on the tubes of paint, and they're right there. This one is more opaque, it's a totally filled in square. This one is a totally not filled in square. This one's very translucent. And then one like this, where it's kind of half and half, that one is in between. That's gold, Mom.
Yeah.
I brought it out in case I felt like adding some gold adornments, but I haven't decided yet if I'm going to use it.
So we're doing lines on our trunks.
I'm doing lines on the trunk. Again, you can, you don't have to. If you want to get creative and add different shapes and triangles and stuff, I'm just adding lines. There we go. I added 3 on that one, so I add 3 on this one. I'm using that magenta color and maybe a little prism violet in on the sides. And then I'm going to add some circles in between those lines underneath them. Why? Because. No, I did not say this is going to be my last live stream. I said on the last live paint with me that we did before, the one that was the dragon, I explained about the transparency markings on the paints. So no, this is definitely not my last live stream. I'm thinking of doing these paint along with me things once a month, and then maybe also once a month I might do like a live art chat and maybe invite some other artists to chat with me live. Other artists that I know, or if you happen to know an artist that you think might want to be on a live chat, I'm open to suggestions. I do have a few friends that are brilliant artists, but eventually I'll need more suggestions. So I added some circles. And then, so the other thing too, my mom added dots, and dots are awesome. See, I added dots too, but I'm going to show you a cool way to do dots anytime you want to do dots. So I'm going to take the other side of my other end of my brush, the one without bristles, and I'm going to dip it in my white paint. And then I'm just going to stamp it right on, whoop, right on my canvas. And it makes a nice little round dot. Much better than I can do with the bristles. So that's generally how I do the dots. Do that all the way down there. And then wipe off your brush so you don't get paint everywhere like I usually do. Then, so now I'm gonna move upwards up the trunk. So I'm gonna do this round, this circle one. I'm going to use blue this time for that. So I'm going to move on to this part. And I'm just going to do it like this. I do love also how expressive this particular painting is, because you really can add whatever shapes you like. And whatever inspires you. So, and you can use whatever colors you want. You can do all kinds of fun things. So I'm gonna make that a little rounder. There we go. Oh no, Patrick, this is not my last. I did explain. It is. I was saying that in a previous, and I said last, but I said in a previous live stream, I had explained something, and they were afraid that this is my last one. No, never. I did get a new job, but I am pretty confident that I will be able to balance things and be able to continue my painting and my YouTube channel and everything while also still working. So I'm very excited about my new job because it has been driving me insane not working since March. Just painting along. There we go. That's a pretty little circle thing. Let that dry for a bit before I add any more detail to it. Come back to that one later. This is a funky little shape, and I will add a funky little shape. Use this orange. It's a little more opaque than my fluorescent orange, and it's a bit different color than what I added in the background. So I like that. So now I'm actually just going to make this kind of a heart shape. So that's just going to go there. I might go in with some red in there too. Getting paint everywhere. I always feel like if I'm painting and I don't have some paint on me by the end, I haven't done my job. I don't feel like I've painted unless I have paint on my skin when I am done. Okay, orange. I don't want this orange. That's good. And then I'm going to continue up, and I'm going to do his little crown that I've got up there. I'm going to go back in with the magenta. And I'm going to start here so that I don't go into that accidentally. And I'm just going to add these fun little things. And do that. What's up? It's just a little thing. You don't even have to add that. That's kind of what that is. But you don't have to add that if you don't feel like you have room. I also want a little bit of this color. So, yeah, just kind of little spiky shapes, triangly spiky shapes. There we go. All right, so far, you know, we've got it going up his trunk. I suppose now would probably be a good time to do his eye. So I'll move that out of the way. For his eye, you want to start with a dark color because his eye needs to stand out, right? So I'm going to use, and my mom is also going to use, ultramarine blue for the start of the eye. I'm just going to stick a little bit of this there for you, Mom. Eventually, we'll go over the eyeball with the black, but we're going to start with this blue because we don't want it all black. But, so again, grabbing a bunch of blue on the brush, and you're going to make like a backwards C shape to start, right here. And so I'm going to make a backwards C. So speaking of my cats, I think I hear one crying at the door, so I'm gonna go make sure I don't need to let one in. Or not. Nope, nobody's at the door, but so two of the kitties are napping with Vince, and one is napping up on the hutch, and I don't know where the other two are, but they are having some cat naps. So inside the backward C, you're going to draw a circle. You're going to make a circle and fill in that circle, and that is going to be your eye. Same color as the backward C. This too small. It's a little small for an elephant eye. You can make that whole backward C the circle, and then put a backward C around it. So make that a circle, and then it will help you. All right. Fill it all in? Yep. Yep. And then start here and make your C around. I do it? Alright, I'll do it. I got the circle. why we wear aprons. There you go.
Yeah.
There we go. Help mom with the eye.
Yeah.
Alright. So now we know where the eye is. Yes, very nice. Oh, Felicia, about your job. So I am a professional photographer by trade. I have only been painting since furlough because as a professional photographer, my job, my normal job, shut down for months, and we still haven't. Our office, our department, has not been called back to work yet. So I have been not working. But a friend of mine who worked with me at my other job started working at a different studio. Doesn't conflict or anything, so he gave me a job at that studio. So I am going to be, this particular studio concentrates on senior portraits. So I will be a photographer at another studio, and it's something where I can still go back to my other job once I can and continue to work there. So it'll be good stuff. So now I'm gonna move into the ear. I don't know why my lighting keeps going crazy. Oh, Felicia, you have a degree in photography. That's awesome. I think I mentioned in my conversation with Mike about how I went to Columbia. I didn't get a degree in photography because I already had a degree. You don't need a degree in photography. But yeah, so that's pretty awesome. Yeah, I think you even mentioned in that chat where you went to school too. So, and I can't recall what it is right now, but that's because I have a terrible memory sometimes. So yeah, I'm just adding more elements here in to some of these areas, however you feel. Yeah, that little teardrop shape I like. Oh yeah, MICA. I know is that the Morris Institute, California? Is that am I remembering that correctly? Crystal's tub got totally dyed a lovely shade of blue from all the tie-dye. Oh. Yeah. I'm just, adding stuff, adding lines. Little leaf shapes in the ear is what I did before, so that's what I'm doing now. Making it a little bit different than I did before, but sticking to the same feel. I'm just going to do that right there, and then I'm just going to take some blue and do the opposite over there. Cool. Oh, Maryland Institute College of Art. Very cool. Very cool. I have been to Maryland once, maybe. I know I drove through it. Alright, I'm going to take a little bit of this, and I'm going to add it here. This circly thing. Thank you. We have more quiet people in the watching. Oh, my niece just joined. Hi, Claire Bear.
Hi, Claire.
Mimi says hi too. Do you see Mimi? Mimi, say hi to Claire. Claire. Claire, are you gonna watch this later and paint the elephant? I'll have to wait to see, because there's a bit of a delay, so I can't see the response right away. But okay, a little bit of this red right there. Claire says hi, Mimi.
Let me show you my picture.
Oh yeah, Mimi's gonna show off a little bit. Oh, look at that. I like these lines that I put in there, so I'm just adding a little bit of that. It's slightly different this time because the colors are in there slightly different. So, you know. Alright. And then, oh yeah, let's also add a little bit of squiggles. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Squiggle, squiggle, squiggle. Yeah, great. Claire said that she will probably go back and watch later and paint the elephant. And Claire, when you do, you need to text me a picture because I need to see it, because it'll be awesome and I'm excited. So now I'm going to do the thing that I showed you guys before, dip the other end of my brush in the paint so I can make some dots. I'm going to make a dot there and all around this circle I made. And take some of this blue that I put way too much blue on my palette, so I'm going to use some more of it. Yeah, I'm just kind of adding accents to the details that I've already added. Again, I keep saying it, but it's so true, especially with this painting. You can really just get as creative or keep it as simple as you like. There's no right or wrong. So Claire, her response to whether she's going to, it was maybe, probably, I will. Yes, because Claire's awesome. She's a pretty awesome niece. She's my favorite niece. She happens to be my only niece, but I have a few nephews, but only one niece. Well, I haven't done anything to my trunk yet, so that is next. And so I like to add, I'm liking these lines on the trunk because it kind of gives it that curled feel. So I'm just going to go ahead and add those. And you want some of your background colors to show through in all of this also, so there's no need to make it all like it's okay to see the background through your details. And a few more dots. Dot, 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 dot. I like dots. I don't like holes, but I like dots. It's a small difference, but it's there. I love it, Felicia. Nephews and nieces are the best, because then you send them home at the end of the day. I don't have my own children. I never plan to, but I do love being an auntie. It's kind of the best. So currently I'm feeling pretty good about my details. Oh, there's one more. I want to add a little something to the eye. Just because I feel like my composition is a little empty up there, although I don't want that color. I don't want that color, not that color. This color. Good. A little bit of dry paint on the tube here. And this is why I have a plastic tablecloth down. And a washcloth right next to me. There we go. There we go. That's a little better. That's a little better. Cool. I'll take that. Felicia, you should paint all the time. All right. And now I'm pretty happy with the start of my details. So I'm gonna let some of that dry, but I'm gonna take the black and I'm gonna fill in the eyeball, just because why not? Now's as good a time as any. You don't have to do this at a particular step. It's just that this is what I would choose to fill in my eyeball. And I just fill it in with the black. Easy peasy. Yep. Felicia, do you like to paint with watercolor or acrylic, or what do you paint with? All right, I'm going to go ahead and add even more smaller details. So I'm going to add some more dots. Dot, dot, dot right there.
Put one in your eye?
Not yet. Oh, not yet. You're going to want to let the black dry first.
Well, I like mine blue. I don't want to put black.
Okay, then you're going to want to fill in more blue instead of making the eye black. If you want to keep it blue, that's fine.
Yep.
But make it more so that you can't see the background.
Okay.
So that it looks more like an eye. At this point, I'm really just choosing colors willy-nilly and just going with it. And that is a great way to do it. Grab colors here and there. All right. So I am liking the way mine's looking. I'm going to stand up and step back and see if there's anything else I want to do. I like it. I like it. It's definitely turning out different than my first one, but I like it. So, and then, Mom, you can keep working, keep doing what you're doing, but kind of close to the last step is to redo your outline one more time. I'm going to go in this time with my ultramarine blue and go over it one more time with that. And I'm using a smaller brush this time because I do want some of my other layers of outline colors to come through. So I'm just going to go over the outline one last time. I'm going to be a little more careful this time with my outline because this is going to be the last time I do it. And if you add just a little bit of water to your brush, it will make your lines a little smoother. So I'm concentrating, sorry, I'm so quiet. Oil and acrylics, yeah, I think we talked about this on in the conversation with Mike, but I have not been brave enough to dive into oils. They seem very, I feel like I need to take a class, plus they're real expensive. So I started with acrylics because of the price point mostly, but I've stuck with it also a lot because of the price point, but also oils are scary. I do use watercolor, obviously. You know, some of y'all have seen some of my other videos, and I do use watercolor, and I have started experimenting with gouache, but gouache is also kind of eluding me. At least that one wasn't all that expensive to get started in. Felicia, you can totally add something. What are you going to add? Or do you want me to add it? Because I totally will. Patrick suggested a hoop earring on the ear before. Now, last time I did a live paint live stream, my aunt ended up watching and doing it in watercolor. Kind of hope, I know she's busy right now, but I kind of hope she does this one in watercolor because I'd love to see what happens. It would be very cool. But yes, Felicia, you can add something. I don't know if I have that much of a delay, but all right. I think I'm really happy with mine. And again, you can do as much or as little as you want with it. You can continue adding details. You can really fine tune your streaks ahead of time. You can do whatever with it, and it just turns out pretty every time, and I really like it. So I hope that some people will paint along with me and show me the results because it would be beautiful. Oh, well, yes. So, again, do I want them to look similar? I mean, it doesn't matter. I painted them similar because this was the example painting that I had posted online, and so if people wanted to follow along with something very similar to that, then I didn't want to deviate too much. But obviously, my mom's is totally different than mine. Totally different colors, totally different just brush strokes, everything. So she'll probably show it off again in a minute. But yeah, so, you know, obviously these are both hand done separate times, so I didn't have my face shape exactly. I didn't have, you know, this ear is a little more wavy than this ear. So it just depends, but I love them both too, Felicia. They are very different paintings. Well, not very different, but they are different paintings, but I think that is the beauty of this. So I even went with different colors in a few places. So it is. It's a fun one, and it's one that you can really get creative with. Oh, the last thing. I totally forgot. I almost forgot to do it. My little the catch light in the eye. Yes. So I'm just going to take my white, which I'm like out of white on my palette, so I'm just going to add a little dollop right there. I'm going to take the other end of my brush again. I'm going to dip it in the white. Stop it. I'm going to dip it in the white, and I am just going to add my catch light. Okay, what did you do? I took this end of the brush, dip it in the white, and then just stamp on your catch light. There you go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now.
Just like that.
Now.
Look how pretty Mom's is.
Different.
It's very different, but that's okay. It looks pretty.
Well, it's for a little girl.
It is. It's for my mom's granddaughter.
Yeah, she's a granddaughter.
Yes. Not related by blood, but she's still her granddaughter, so it's fine. A new series. Yeah, I mean, I could start. Well, actually, here, I'll show you guys. I will be right back. I'm going to show you the cat that I did the other day. I was inspired by this painting and making the example painting. So I created this, and I hope that all of this will end up in frame. But I created this one. There we go. Inspired by. So they kind of are a series. I'm gonna wait here so I can see it in the video. There we go, to make sure that it
All
shows. Yeah, good. All right, you guys can see it. So I do kind of have a series going on, and I might continue and do other animals. I mean, Jeremy suggested a turtle earlier, so that might. What is I think a pack of elephants. No, a herd. I think elephants are a herd.
Yeah.
Yes. Felicia loves yours, Mom.
Thank you.
So yeah, I mean, I might start a series of these. Obviously, well, and I'm looking at these two side by side, and this one again is way more fluorescent. I just started going wild with the bright colors. But yeah. So this one, the face shape looks a lot like my Neelix cat, and then the ears I actually modeled after Castiel. So,
all right, just now, do I need to are those dark and light things on the outlines? Are those okay?
Oh yeah. So you're supposed to be able to see the layers of the outline.
Okay.
So if you look, you can see some of my pink and some of my purple bleeding through. So, yeah. All right. Vince was not painting with us today. Jeremy, my friend Jeremy actually just texted me again and asked to see Vince's elephant. And he was not painting with us today because he was napping. In fact, he's still napping, and I'm surprised we did not wake him up. god. Oh, but we can say that this is Vince's elephant. No, I painted that. Alright, everybody. So Mom is just adding some finishing touches to hers. I have completed mine, so the example painting. This is the final product of mine. Gotta let that dry. And, of course, the one inspired by that I did earlier this week. So I want to see yours, though. I want to see all of yours. I want to see what you guys do. So definitely find me on Facebook, facebook.com/WrittenStudioArt, and send me a message, send me a picture, and then with your permission, I will then post pictures of what other people have done in an album on my Facebook page, because I love to see it. If you don't want me to post it, I won't post it, but if you allow me to, I will. So for right now, I think we are gonna wrap up. And I hope you guys enjoy this, and I hope if you're watching this in the future that you enjoyed it also. Leave me comments and messages, and I will for sure respond if you have any other questions. And look out for the notifications and the events and things for the next time I do a live paint, because I do plan on doing these once a month maybe. So this was August. I hope you enjoyed. Felicia, I know you're here, so bye-bye. Jeremy, you're obviously still here, so bye-bye. And, oh good, and Kelly and Rob are going to send their pictures. Bye guys, thank you so much for joining us. I so can't wait to see you guys', because I know you guys had fun with this. So, and yeah, so have a wonderful afternoon and weekend, and I'll see you next time. Thanks guys. All right, now see if I can turn this thing off in an easy way. How do I stop? Oh, there we go.